Hello, we go by Valerian. We want to preface this video by saying that take what you like, leave the rest. If something sticks, great. If not, that's okay. We are not perfect. We are human. And if something of value comes out of these videos, that's all we are trying to do. Today we would like to discuss the concepts and skills known as comprehension and active listening. What is comprehension? Well, it's a skill. It is defined as, by the dictionary, the act or effect of grasping the meaning, nature, or importance of, i.e., understanding. So, how do we employ comprehension? Well, reading comprehension is the understanding of what a particular text means and the ideas the author is attempting to convey, both textual and subtextual. So if we apply this to communication, it is understanding what the person means and the ideas the person is attempting to convey, both literally and through other variables such as nonverbal and implied meanings. This is a complex ability because it is difficult to understand some things, and it's difficult to master for most human beings. Implied meanings often are difficult to grasp because it isn't suggested or assumed to be understood without the person being open or direct in expression. And that is why it is a challenge to comprehend things that are said by other people when all those variables are considered. So now we move on to the part where active listening, remember this is the other skill we're going to discuss. What is active listening? It is a communication skill that involves going beyond just simply hearing the words that another person speaks. It's about actually processing and seeking to understand the meaning and intent behind those words. It requires being mindful and focused in the communication process. So such skills involved in this are being fully present in the conversation, showing interest. It says by practicing good eye contact, because I got this from verywellmind.com. However, the problem is that us autistics do not like eye contact. We think it is a ridiculous concept to maintain good eye contact when it is uncomfortable and can potentially trigger us into meltdowns and be unable to have a conversation, especially people with ADHD and combination autism and ADHD. So us showing interest looks different than the way that someone without autism would show interest. So when we are showing interest in a conversation, we will do our love language, which is known as info dumping. And it may sound like we're ranting or being arrogant, but actually it's us trying to meet you and say we care and we love you, even though to you it doesn't seem like we're showing interest in what you're saying and like as if we're trying to make it about us. Also, active listening involves noticing and using nonverbal cues. It can look different for everybody, especially neurodivergent people. Nonverbal cues that we are enjoying the conversation and having fun is maybe not necessarily us smiling, although that can be part of it. We might be laughing, but also it's us stimming. So we may be hand flappy, we may be wiggling our fingers because it's also hand flapping. It's flicking our fingernails. It may be like shifting on our feet, jumping up and down, wiggling, not maintaining eye contact because it's actually helping us to hear better. Because unlike non-autistic people, our brains take in too much information. And so we have to somehow mitigate that. so that we can pay attention. And if you have autism and ADHD, that's a challenge on a new level, in my opinion. So a lot of people believe active listening is asking open-ended questions to encourage further responses. But with a neurodivergent person, that can cause us to panic and have anxiety spirals. And so asking an open-ended question is not helpful to a neurodivergent person because we don't always know what the answers should be. Paraphrasing and reflecting back what we've said, that is super helpful, and that's why active listening is super important, because you don't always know if you've got it right. And so by paraphrasing and reflecting back, that is helpful, very helpful. Also, part of active listening is listening to understand rather than to respond. That is hard for neurodivergent people because we're scared if we don't get this one piece of information in, that it will be gone forever. And so having allowances and grace and consideration during a communication on that is super important. And also withholding judgment and advice during active listening. That is part of active listening. It helps people to feel more understood and can strengthen relationships, as it signals to the person you're talking to that you have a willingness to sit with their perspective and have empathy for their situation instead of just focusing on just what's going on with you, because not everything is about you. It is a fundamental aspect of professional interactions as well, especially. And mastery does require cultivating deliberate practice of this skill. Communication, and especially good communication, involves an exchange between the sender and the person transmitting the information. And so it is crucial that the receiver acknowledges this information and provides feedback to ensure that there's a mutual understanding between the two of you, or lot of you. The ability to do this is not an innate thing, it's a learned skill, and it requires ongoing practice and refinement. And when you find yourself using and practicing this skill, you're not going to always get it right. And that's okay. It should be okay. That is part of learning, is making mistakes. When you stop trying is when you are no longer succeeding. Success is not defined by failure. Success is defined by just keep trying, in whatever capacity you can. And even if you keep failing in your opinion, as long as you do not give up 100% and never come back to it, that is the point of learning anything. And the other important things to note is proficiency underpins teamwork and builds strong relationships, which is vital, actually, for positive outcomes in life, whether it's in healthcare or in work relationships or rental relationships or dating relationships, any kind of relationship. Effective communication promotes problem-solving efficiency within any situation and significantly reduces, actually, the likelihood of errors and misunderstandings. Active listening keeps you engaged in the conversation in a positive way. It also can make the person feel heard and validated and valued. This is so vital and foundational to having good communication and successful conversations in any setting. Ultimately, it also shows respect and value of the other person's boundaries, needs, concerns, and ideas. and that it shows to the other person that they matter. So how does this relate to comprehension? As I said, with comprehension, it is trying to listen for the full context and content within communication, which is the fundamental aspect of active listening. And that is why I think that there is such a divide. And this is just my personal view and opinion, but I think that's why there's such a divide between what's known as non-autistic people, also called allistics or neurotypicals, and autistic people. There's a lot that I could say in relation to this, but I think this is the heart of the matter, is that we all have different ways of being and personal biases and views and beliefs and ideas and concepts. And in order to learn how to have grace, which is something I'll talk about in my next video, and how to have compassion and empathy for another person and make them feel heard, seen, and valued and validated, and help them, actually, is by learning active listening, but not just active listening in the way of the context of a neurotypical or person without autism, but understanding that active listening, comprehension, and good communication means trying to meet someone communication-wise that is not just neurotypical, but also all different people from walks of life, neurodivergence especially, but also LGBTQI plus people and minorities, disabled folks, people that are marginalized. This is a vital skill that will help you to be less angry and hateful, and to actually have compassion and empathy for others. And that is why it is super important to realize that when you're an autistic person talking to a neurotypical, that you just gotta keep practicing. And at the end of the day, if someone is committed to what I call ignorance, the knowledge of not knowing something, uh, which is weird to say that, but at that point, sometimes the best thing you could do so that you don't waste your time and energy trying to explain yourself, and still being misunderstood and getting frustrated over it, is just to walk away. But this is, again, personal opinion and thoughts. And like I said at the beginning of this video, take it or leave it. Something is of a value to you and it's helpful to help you better your communication skills and better, like, creating a community of, like, compassion and empathy and bettering ourselves. If you're willing to just go just a little extra mile, just a little bit. You don't have to love the person or be intimate with them or even like them. But if you can at least take a little step out of your comfort zone and try to work on being a better communicator to everybody, that shows that you have the capacity to learn, grow, and heal. Because everybody goes through life with uncomfortable shit, and everybody's on their own journey. I hope this helps, and see you in the next video.